But this Jeep, you know, Jeepers Creepers had got out in front of me. You see what they signs, you know, they lay someplace say it says evil and shit. You hear me? Anyway, this is off of Shady Oaks and Morris right here. In the loop now, we going on McKinney, who is evil. You hear me? This is McKinney. You see McKinney? Evil, because you know that leads to Camp Compass if you go that way. Camp Compass, and then that leads downtown to the Black Pearl if you go that way. You know. And I just seen they got umbrella on their license plate too. Look at that. I mean, Evil. I guess that meant Resident Evil or whatever. But you see, he going to the left towards the evil Black Pearl and shit. You know. We living in a loophole and everything, and you know I'm trying to get out this loop, trying to break this loop chain. You hear me? And as I travel past hot spots, you know where the volleyball court is and everything, because that means something too. I just don't know what it means yet, but you know it's all coming together, right? So anyway, in the walk or the fire, you know, well, I come up here and it's a street with a white sign. Actually, right after this, fire station number 2 is Ignited Fellowship Church. And across the street, which we own Mockingbird. So Mockingbird, right after that, it's a street called Lane. Shout out Gang, that's my cousin. But anyway, it's a white sign with black letters right there, and I always wondered what that meant. And then it's Grace Point Church, you know, because I'm trying to point to Grace, you know, church. Amen. Anyway, so I don't know why I'm doing all this shit right now. I'm just following it and damn Jeepers Creepers, but then it turned on Springtree. You hear me? Street. Is that not? Wait a minute. The computer generates a loop, and then you know we got to find the chain to break the axe to break the loop and shit like that. I see. If y'all don't see what the fuck I just seen, I mean, damn. Anyway, I'm gonna travel all the way down to the brown sign, Black Pearl, but I ain't gonna make no video because I already showed you motherfuckers the video and stuff like that. And I gotta point out this park because it's called Return of the Mac, you know. It's called Mac Park. Mac Park, and it's at Rob, because you know they robbed us and shit like that. Roberts Field. There's 2 of them there on both sides and shit. You hear me? Okay, I do got to point out Audra and Woodrow, because you know Woodrow also turns into another street, Colorado, and this is where the police that thing is where the police station is, and the courthouse is right here, because I'm still on McKinney and everything. That's 1450 whatever, where the courthouse is, where I talked about it in another video, and I ain't gonna go there, but you know McKinney has a lot of secrets too. Clearly you can see it by the signs, because you know we came over here all. Anyway, I ain't gonna go there either. Y'all be blessed. Because I wanted to show you Hickory Dickory Dock, because I mean I literally was just off of McKinney, and right here is that courthouse, 1450 off of Rudell, because they've been rude as hell in Hickory. But if you go on the other side, because you know they on both sides and everything like that, you'll see that this is actually McKinney Street, and you can run right into the motherfucking visitors, you know. The visitor, you know, the visiting, like the jail and shit like that. But anyway, you know, because that's, you know, they got us in the chamber and stuff. They got us locked up and everything like that, right? And then you get to the water where the puzzle pieces is, and I mean, it's clear as day. I mean, the grass is covering some of it right here, but it's a lot down the street where, you know, the part Frederick Douglass Moore, you know, Fred Moore, you know, he was part of the slave and shit like that, because that's in the loop too, right? Now, at the end of this goddamn street that I'm on, Rudell, with 2 D's and shit, is the MLK Center, you know, where they have 2 girls out here. And then the Section 8 office, you know, because, you know, they took the father out the office and stuff. I mean, father out the home and everything like that. This is all stories that, you know, we've been fed and has happened in his, you know, the man story, you know. But anyway, I turned on Wilson because, you know, I like to go play basketball and everything like that. And the first church you get to is Mount Calvary, because they keep you in the chamber. Calvary is, you know. But anyway, it's a lot of motherfucking hills up over here. But if I turn down this bushy, you know, the burning bushy, you know, it's Morse Street. And I already made videos on all of this stuff, like Morse code. And Morse is by the railroad tracks. And then it's a street called Railroad, you know, because it's underground railroad and shit like that. It's up over here too in this hood. So that's Frederick Douglass Moore Park right here, y'all. You know, and they got a baseball diamond because, you know, pressure and diamond and coal and all that. Pressure and coal make diamonds and all that, you know. And it's a bridge over here because I told y'all, like, they be putting shit hidden in plain sight for a reason and all that stuff. And, you know, clearly I'm the bridge because I'm seeing the shit. You know, and if you go down this damn street called Lakey, because, you know, Jesus walked on the motherfucking water and stuff, and this is the Lakey Street now. It's 2 churches, or is it 3 churches? It's 2 churches in the barbershop, you know, and one got a basketball mayor's name. I forgot it damn name. Lord, he used to be one of my favorite players, but he played on the Michigan team, right? You hear me? So anyway, this is Morse and Lakey. Just had to point that out. It's telling you, like, Morse code and Lakey, like Jesus walked on water. Anyway, so I'm going on Morse right now, and I done made videos on this goddamn street before, and I ain't gonna go there, like I said, because, you know, I'm tired of this shit. But the robbers robbed and shit like that. That's all I gotta say. And then Frederick Douglass Moore School is on top of this damn big ass hill. Mountain, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I mean, who am I turned on Cross Timbers and got to Roof Street, and if you put a motherfucking T, because that's Cross Timbers, you know, they didn't cross the T and dotted the I, circle, circle, dot, dot. I just got my cootie shot, but I didn't get this cootie shot. But anyway, you know, I just went on Cross Timbers and Roof, and if you put a T in front of motherfucking Roof, it's the truth. But I'm just telling y'all, you know, I'm just here, you know, elaborating on what I see in the best way I possibly can to make you guys open up your eyes to see, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's not the first of the month, but, you know, I'm trying to have it be the first of the month. It probably is the first of the month because, you know, they've been lying to us and shit like that. We don't know what the fuck is going on. You hear me? Y'all be blessed, though. Goddess gang in the building. And what they did was put everything in the blender, blended it all up, and just let it dump out, and then, you know, just create chaos like that. I mean, that's what they did with the world, for real. The information and everything, spread it all out here, put this apartment here. They will never figure out, you know, who they are and stuff, because we mixed it all up so good, so fine in the motherfucking blender that, you know, we always gonna have the power, but they can't, and that ain't right. And I done figured it out. I swear, like, this shit wild in the bitch. But y'all be blessed. And what they did was put everything in the blender, blended it all up, and just let it dump out, and then, you know, just create chaos like that. I mean, that's what they did with the world, for real. The information and everything, spread it all out here, put this apartment here. They will never figure out, you know, who they are and stuff, because we mixed it all up so good, so fine in the motherfucking blender that, you know, we always gonna have the power, but they can't. And that ain't right. And I done figured it out. I swear. Like, this shit wild in the bitch. But y'all be blessed. We know now, because information is coming out, that, you know, the United States, was one big old experiment. And they experimented by putting all this information and all this stuff, this secret knowledge, hidden in plain sight. They put the shit in the blender and said, we gonna make it do what it do, you know. This is The Walking Dead, and he has a Trax, which is a Chevrolet, and it's a 389 license plate with a 0. So if you flip it, it's 386, you know, and that's my pirate ship number. I gotta point that out, right? We living in this loop, and it so happened that I just catch the loop really quickly, but You hear me? You know, they just had a abduction, a child abduction around 5 o'clock. And the goddamn, I'm nosy, sewer, electric, GTE. I'm at this Golden Triangle Mall, but anyway, I'm just being nosy. But anyway, the loop is, hold on, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm being nosy. Child abduction about a Waco, like wake up. Anyway, and the guy or the person who was took the child was named TT, but 10 or whatever, and they drove a Chevrolet Trax, TRAX, the same car that just Bogart and got in front of me and shit off Loop 288 and shit. You know, I don't know why I'm in this mall or whatever today, but you know, I'm passing the candy jar, which is down there at the corner by the eyebrows place, and they're closing, y'all. And I said, why y'all closing? They said, oh, this mall ain't doing too good, which you knew that because, you know, I work at a JCPenney, you know. And then she said, I said, where y'all going? She said, Garland, y'all. Garland, y'all. Hi, how are you? And so I said, all the way to Garland? That's where you moving, all the way to Garland and stuff? Look at this, ain't this cute, y'all? And she said, yeah. And I was like, you know, because I have a bit of a good memory. And I remember doing a video on Spencer Generating Power Plant. You hear me what I said? On Brinker, where I just came from, off Spencer Road. And you know, this mall, this Golden Triangle Mall is parallel to that motherfucker. But anyway, I had seen a sign on the Spencer Generating Power Plant on the fence that said something about Garland and acid rain. And I'm gonna try to find a video and embed it in that motherfucker. But I just find that ironic that, you know, you're taking this candy jar to Garland, you know, and if you look up the word Garland and see what the fuck it means, Merry Christmas. About this Loop 288 that I'm on right now, off of Brinker Road, where this Walmart is and this Honey Baked Ham place is, Great Clipped, where next to the T-Mobile. Now, you know, it says it's Great Lakes, you know, and it has a Michigan symbol and shit, like literally. And I always wonder, because like I've been here for 9 years and that symbol been here for 9 years and everything like that, and I always wonder why the fuck, I mean, is that named the Great Lakes area, you know what I'm saying, like property and stuff, you know. And then I looked at Brinker, B-Rink-er, E-R, you know what I'm saying, road, and I just like, you know, because I broke down the road, it took the B off, and it left me with rink, and I was like, this is the rink, y'all. I was like, what the hell is a rink, like a skating rink or some shit like that, you know. So anyway, I looked up the word rink, and let me show you what it say now, you know. Be clear, when I was getting my toes done today, because that's where it started, my day, right? That's the area that I was in, like that little plaza. It's called the Great Lake area, y'all. The Great Lakes with a Michigan symbol. And I'm from Michigan. Shout out, gang, gang. You know, the murder, business shit. Anyway.